Hello, this is Postdoc Chronicles, week number 96. So before we get into it, I think this week, like I finished a lot of stuff. Like I've done reading Witcher book three, the first novel, and then I also watched the series because I saw that it's just based on the first two books, the first two stories. They kind of like scrambled some of the plot lines and stuff, and yeah, they had to like make the because books one and two where they base it is very like spread. It's like different short stories, so they had to like try to weave everything so that it will make sense. And yeah, it's nice that I watch it so that moving forward I have like a picture of the main characters in my head, just like before I like read Harry Potter when I was like in high school. I actually saw the movie, right? Like the first Harry Potter. So like I already have like an idea what their faces are. So there was like the moment I started reading Harry Potter, there was no point where the face of the main character wasn't Daniel Radcliffe. And sometimes it's good, you have like a clear picture in your head. So in Witcher, I do have like a picture of like Geralt as being the character from the game. But for example, people like Yennefer, Jasker, or Dandelion from the book, for some reasons, in the Witcher series, they used his original name in the Polish book. Yeah, but right now I have like a picture on my head, how like people like Dress Marigold and all these characters, how they look like. Also, I was able to finish Bioshock 2, a very outstanding game. Like it improved a lot of. I believe the backstory, the setting is not as strong as Bioshock One, but the gameplay element, the mechanic, it's very well polished. Like if there's something that I want to replay between Bioshock One and Two, I would replay Bioshock Two, no question. But in terms of like lasting impact, because like Bioshock One had a very nice twist with it, so I would prefer a Bioshock One. But both of these games are really very good. So I'm now excited to move to Bioshock Infinite also on the Nintendo Switch, and also just yesterday, last night, in fact, I was able to finish Metroid Fusion, no, not Metroid Fusion, Metroid Samus Returns on the Nintendo 3DS, and again, it was very cool. So right now, we're gonna talk about Xenoblade Chronicles. So I already mentioned that in May 29, a lot of games was produced, for the let me reduce the brightness of this one so it can be seen. So like, I mentioned in the previous Postdoc Chronicles, a lot of games, had been introduced for the Nintendo Switch last May 29, and among them is the Xenoblade Chronicles. This is like a remaster, a definitive edition of the game, and during the time also with the release of this game, they also released not Nintendo but 2K also released Bioshock series, Borderlands series, and XCOM 2. So I have to choose which to play first. I prefer the Bioshock, but yeah, Xenoblade Chronicles. This is like a very huge game. Like it has been in it first appeared in like a Wii U, like maybe I don't know 10 years or more than 10 years ago, and yeah, I don't have a Wii. I meant Wii, not Wii U. I don't have a Wii, so I can't like play this game. But man, when they made it for the one of the things they like advertised on the new 3DS4 when they release it is that one of the like exclusive games that will only run on a new 3DS hardware, because this is like an upgraded version of the old 3DS, is Xenoblade Chronicles, and this is like an insanely huge RPG running on a handheld this small. Man, that's very cool. That's one of the things I like about handhelds. Like this tiny stuff encompass, can contain very huge worlds within them. And yeah, and if you want, you can like play it on the Xenoblade Chronicles. But I do love the feeling of playing it on a very very tiny handheld. But anyway, yeah, Xenoblade Chronicles, like on the 3DS, is probably like the biggest game there is in terms of like file size, because it's that huge. It's like the premise is that there are these two giants that fought for all eternity, and then eventually they stop, and then on their bodies, because they're very huge, evolve human life forms called the Bionis, and then their enemies on the other guy, which is the Mykonis. And yeah, and then eventually there's like an ongoing war between the humanity and then the robot people. And yeah, it's a very huge game. I like played it here. I haven't finished it because yeah, it's like a sprawling RPG. So I don't know right now that they're both on new 3DS and Switch. I don't know where to play it. But maybe I'll continue my save file here. But yeah, it's a very huge game, and the the what do you call this, the fighting mechanic, the fighting system is very unique, because typically if you have like an RPG, they most RPGs have their own unique mechanics, but typically, like especially JRPGs, they do, turn based. This one is like it's like action. You're free to move, but your character attacks automatically, but at every given interval you can activate these things called arts, and then your main character has this sword, which is the modado, that can the only thing that can damage the mechonis, and yeah, it's very the arts do very insane damage if you are like at a very specific position. And when you are when you get that specific position, the enemies will either topple, or they will like get stunned, and then your other character will have a certain art that works well when an enemy is toppled, and it's all about positioning and using your arts in a correct order to deal a massive damage as much as possible. So every battle, especially if the life of the enemy is huge, is very what do you call this? It's very intensive, and very you really have to position your characters and so on. Yeah, so that's what I'm doing right now. But anyway, yeah, I just showcased it. But to be honest, on the Nintendo Switch, I'm still gonna be playing Bioshock Infinite. But I think before, the reason why I wasn't able to I wasn't able to get into Bioshock Infinite right away is because yeah, I'm always doing this because I'm trying to get a nice frame for my thumbnail. Yeah, but I think that's fine. Okay, yeah, but anyway, yeah, I was saying, I did play it Bioshock Infinite because Bioshock 2 has a very story-driven DLC, as opposed to Bioshock 1, where the DLC is just like an arcade stuff, like a puzzle, like kill the big daddy without using something, or save a little sister, something like that. So I didn't play that. I went directly to Bioshock 2. Bioshock 2 has a story-driven DLC, which is nice. And yeah, I really like Bioshock was really cool. You're like a big daddy, your character, instead of like a stranded human in Bioshock 1. But anyway, postdoc. So very good news this week is that we've been applying, for an extension of my postdoc to DOST since like December last year. And then finally, in fact, I believe since November I was processing the papers, but then it got rejected many times. But finally, we really like pushed through. We really like reasoned out that yeah, we really need the membership to CERN. So finally, SEI agreed to fund my postdoc. So now we are now in the process of processing the additional requirements that I didn't have in the original papers that I submitted way back when, like early this year, because I already submitted all the stuff. And then, so in this new requirement, I just have to fill up a new form, and then maybe readjust the duration of the funding, because initially I applied for like supposed to be May onwards. Obviously, May is already June. May already passed, so still no funding from the UST. But yeah, the good thing is that WITS was kind enough to extend my funding, or my stay here, until July. So hopefully, August onwards will be handled by the UST. So I'll be like readjusting the duration of the funding and things like that. Okay, and the multi-Higgs project. So we are now in the we already resubmitted like the last comment by the referee, because he had like still one more issue. So we tackled that, and then hopefully there's already a convergence. Hopefully, hopefully, like let's say next week or within this month, we get a news about our multi-Higgs paper. And also, like in the MUED project. So my laptop right now has been in an overwork mode since last week, when I incorporated all the MUED processes. Because running or simulating events with matching versus those events without matching, it uses a lot of like a CPU, and it takes a very long time. And also since now I'm not only dealing with the KK2 KK gluon states, I'm also dealing with the other combinations like KK quarks and all the doublet and singlet component. So I have like a lot of sub processes of MUED, like I mentioned in the former Postdoc Chronicles, and so I had to run this stuff, and then it takes a while. So until now, it's still running. Like it started like just still last weekend. Until now, it's still running. So like I have this in YouTube. I have this series where I play Slay the Spire. I had to stop that because when I play Slay the Spire, when I play it on my laptop, and then I also record the screen while the laptop is also simulating it, it can't handle it. So right now that series is on pause, but definitely I'll come back to that like sometime in the future when this MUED project will push through, hopefully. And then the qualification tasks. So I'm still finalizing the plots that I'll be presenting next week, because I'll be giving a talk, my first ever update on my qualification task on June 19, which is next Friday. So I'll be doing that. And also this coming Tuesday, I'm reading a chapter in Schwartz quantum field theory book on infrared divergences. I chose this chapter because there's a section that deals with jets, and I'm also working with jets. And also yeah, if I haven't mentioned before, this is like a journal club in University of Florida that I joined with PhD students. You know, these guys that are trying to understand QFT. And like I mentioned before, I am a postdoc, but my QFT training is not that strong. So I'm joining that. It's like a weekly meeting where we tackle every chapter of QFT. I saw these guys in a Reddit, and it's sad that I saw it late, because they've been doing this since the beginning, since chapter one of the Schwartz books. Right now, they're in the one that I'll be talking is already chapter 19, and I joined them. They're already like in chapter 16, which is, yeah, I should have. It's nice if I would have seen that earlier, but yeah, their post in Reddit was a bit late. Like it was like, I don't know, three or 2 weeks ago, and then when I saw it, I told them, hey guys, I'm interested, and yeah, and now I'm next meeting Tuesday, I'll be the one that will be overviewing or guiding the chapter. Okay, because per meeting we assign different chapters to different people. And finally, on the AnalysisTop project, so this is an analysis that Deepak assigned to me together with his PhD student Lawrence. And yeah, so we actually went to his house, I believe last Thursday, to talk about how to move forward. So I'm still studying this AnalysisTop framework. Lawrence is the expert on how to set these things up, because you have to like tweak something within the framework in order to proceed with what we're doing, something to do with turning off the overlap removal. So Lawrence has been very helpful. I'm still setting it up, but the going forward, Lawrence will be looking at the signals, large jets containing electrons, and I'll be the ones assigned for the ones that will be containing muons. So he'll be handling electrons, I'll be handling muons. But anyway, yeah, that's the update for my cell phone's already complaining that it's running out of memory. So I'll end it here. This has been Postdoc Chronicles week number 96. Thanks for watching. I'll see you next time. Bye bye.